Good. Hi. And I don't even know if we're live right this second yet. I don't think we are, Chris.
I think we are.
No, we're not on Be Live. This happened once before and they're new. They have this new.
I'm pretty sure we're on YouTube, if
All
nothing
right.
else.
Okay. Let me.
Wait
All
for
right. We're going to go live. Forget the video.
1.
Hey, guys. I had this all set up to play a video, but you know what? Sometimes the best laid plans just don't work. And I am Sandy Shellis, and welcome to Chris Lund, who is the Natural Progressive. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you that I'm going to play around with the software, and we're going to say, happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. I'm going to handle YouTube. You get to handle Facebook. So I just want to say hello to some of our YouTube people that are on. Of course, Val and Karen Peterson, Ken Deal, Jeffrey Pearson, Bio, Keith Boyd, Blake TV, CB Youngsley. Hi, Rafant. Hi, Eric.
So they're on your YouTube, and we're on my Facebook, Environmental Coffee House Facebook, because we've got 13 viewers on Facebook, so it's growing. Great. Well, welcome. I see that Karen's here and on ours, and Jim and Tanya. They're the Quali McHenry, Jim, who does the climate activist march by himself or with his wife in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, every Friday. On Facebook, he's awesome. And Steve and Dolores, so great, everybody. Thank you for joining me and Chris, who has her show on YouTube only. She's not like us on Facebook. Also,
sorry, guys.
Chris,
no time.
Well, happy birthday, and tell us about who you are. They all know how I started, everybody on Facebook. So tell us about who you are and where'd you come from?
Okay, well, I guess it all started when I was really enamored with Bernie Sanders. That was a big thing for me, and I got really involved in politics with Bernie Sanders. I went so far as to drag all my family members that I could, snag the ones that weren't Republican, right wing leaning, that I could influence. I drug them all into what do they call those, the the Utah thing where they bring people into the Democratic convention and all that. And I brought all these people in and made them come and vote for Bernie Sanders. And then we all became state delegates. Me, my husband, my brother, and his wife, we all went and we became state delegates for Bernie Sanders.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I started out with that, and I really was pushing progressive agendas and for Bernie Sanders. I went to the state this oh my god, I'm so tired. But the state convention for the Democratic Party, I went to that and pushed for a Bernie or bust agenda, voted for anyone to go to the national a delegation for the Democratic Party that was Bernie or bust, did all that, and then I started diving into environmental issues. As I was driving around Utah for my job, I would see environmental destruction, and I got really irritated by what I was seeing driving around, and I started videotaping that and posting it on my YouTube channel, which I started exactly 2 years ago today, but I didn't really start posting till 10 months ago. So I'm pretty new to this whole thing. I'm still trying to figure out all the crap, the technology and all that. Yeah.
I'm looking at this on the online and I'm saying, oh my God,
I know we're stressing right up to the minute. It's like,
right? Chris, you and I are in a parallel universe. I mean, we really did. I woke up also as far as, coming back into the political sphere and all, as well with Bernie. So I'm sorry, there was like a ladybug thing. But it was the same. So we were on a collision course destined to meet online
Right.
right?
Yeah, we had to. And so, well, when Bernie was cheated, I ended up voting for Jill Stein because I had
Mhm.
to vote my conscience. So that's
Yes,
what I
you
did.
did.
I voted my conscience. I voted for Jill Stein because she held the same ideals that Bernie did. And so I just felt like I couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. She wasn't for the same ideals. She did not represent me at all. So I could not vote for her. So oh, thank you, Marcia. Um, but yeah, I went all in for Bernie, and then my heart got broken when he was cheated. So I decided just to focus on issues and not political parties and all that. So I moved
Right.
into environment. Just I had to deal with what was going on, what I was seeing, and I started out videotaping what I was seeing, and then I went on Uphill Media, and I was on that show every Saturday for like I think it was like 6 months or something.
When I first saw you, and when you remember Kat, and she was a mod, Kat.
Hmm.
She was yeah, we're there with all the same time. I just didn't connect with you then. I can't
Yeah,
believe it.
and then I was on other channels as well. I went on Graham Millwood. Um, I supported him, and he let me on his program for a long time. I was on his program monthly, and it took me a while to get up the courage to do my own program on my own show. And when I did that, live felt better. I love the interaction with the audience, and
Yeah,
that's what makes me feel good is having the talking to the audience. And still, occasionally, when that doesn't happen, I get really kind of like frustrated. It's like I want to talk to the audience. I mean, they're as important as anybody. When I was watching other shows, I just felt like I wanted my voice to count, and I feel like other people want that too. And it's
absolutely.
just not my opinion. I say this all the time on my show. If one person is or if everybody has the same opinion, then only one person is doing the thinking. So I want to hear different opinions. I want people to bring in different ideas. And that's what Monday Madness is about. So many different ideas. I may not agree with all the guests I bring on, but the most important thing is to let people have a voice. I think more of that is needed. Let people have a voice. Let the everyday person who doesn't have a show have a voice. That's kind of where I come from.
Is actually really wild and really cool. And you opened a genre, you opened a door, excuse me, that needed to be opened.
I appreciate it. You said that
Um,
before, and there was
yeah,
somebody that was doing it before that has disappeared.
no, she
So,
didn't disappear. It was Margot. And she
oh,
does a channel on methane and Arctic ice and all.
uh-huh.
And she's very
Oh,
scientific.
that's
She tried,
Margot.
yes,
Everyone's
she
talking
tried,
about Margot. Yeah.
tried to do live on Talk Show.
Hmm.
And the thing is, it was just too stressful for her. And I don't have a regular type of thing because I am not reliable. So I couldn't do it. But I was thinking, God, it would be great to be able to do something like that. And here you come. It was just like, oh my God, the timing was magnificent, Chris. And it's just been great,
I just
for all of
appreciate
us.
all the support I get,
Well, you
honestly.
should because we did. There's not a lot of women on the YouTube. There, when I first was doing this, I think somebody said I was like the only woman doing this, but I was doing it on Facebook forever. So
Hmm.
you really cut your teeth on YouTube. It's like
Yeah,
a rough crowd sometimes.
it is a rough crowd. At first, I was like, I'd receive one little tiny comment that was kind of like critical, and I'd be like, oh my God, I should just stop doing this. And you get kind of a thicker skin as time goes by, and you learn to just like blow that off, and try to bring those people into the conversation even if they disagree with you. And it's hard. It is at times. It's very difficult because you want everyone to keep talking, even if aw, thank you, Karen Reese. But you want people to keep talking even if you don't agree 100%. We need to keep
Mhm.
conversations going, and that's what I want to do is just keep talking, because nothing's going to be solved if we just stop conversations. Period.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And what I think is attractive
Thank you, Mark.
to you may have a long show, it might go for 2 hours. You've brought on other people and you talk about so many issues. And you guys will flow and ebb into the most amazing things. So tell me about how you formulated some of those uh, feelings about the doomosphere, they call it, or climate change, abrupt climate change, near term human extinction, overpopulation, all those. Pick one. How did you come to those epiphanies? Who was
Okay,
it?
well, when I was researching about what was happening in my state, just my state, I was looking into what happened in Vernal with um what they were doing. What was I seeing there? I seen a whole bunch of destruction of the land, but I wanted to know what that mining and everything was about, why they were blasting areas where there's fossils and really great rock formations. Why are they blasting this? What's going on? And then when I looked deeper into it, I found out that the air pollution was so bad. It was like the LA. It was worse than the LA basin, like the entire LA basin. And this is a town of 30,000 people, and because of the gas exploration and fossil fuel development and other mining, they were causing emissions that were equal to 100 million cars. And there was I looked into a story where there was a midwife who went there and just noticed the stillbirth deaths that were happening that were way greater than the average. And so she brought in people to look at the air quality. They still haven't looked into the water. I'm afraid to drink water there. I won't drink water there. But but she found out the stillbirths were just in way higher than the national average for this tiny little small town of 30,000 people. And that's how she got the testing done to figure out the emissions were equal to 100 million cars in a 30,000 person town. So once I got there, then I went on to research more, and I found Guy McPherson and started watching his videos. And then Guy McPherson was actually the third person I interviewed on my channel. Um, he was great. And when he was telling me what was going on, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much worse than anyone is even
Yeah.
saying. It's
Yeah, I cut my teeth on some of Guy too, twice, but in 2017. See, parallel worlds, Chris.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And then I interviewed Paul Beckwith and Derek
Mhm.
Jensen, who is one of my very favorites because he's so nature oriented, and I love nature. I love being out in nature, and I know. Okay, then you get into. We're not going to go the other place, but
Well, let's hear about your horses too.
what?
Let's hear about you and your horses and your life.
Okay, so I'm an animal person. I love to rescue animals. I've rescued all different types of animals. I've rescued everything from rabbits, chickens, ducks, geese, horses, a lot of horses. I've rescued a lot of horses. Almost every dog I own is a rescue. Um, well, there's one that we got as a puppy that it was not a rescue, but it wasn't from a puppy mill or anything either. It was just happened upon, But when I get a dog, I keep them for life, and that's just the way it is, no matter what troubles. And I've dealt with some major aggression issues and all that from abuse, but I just believe that nothing is ever the animal's fault. It's always humans. Humans cause the most suffering and um, the most problems. So I just try to rescue everything. I've done that since I was a kid. I have scars all over my hands from rescuing chipmunks from cats and Podcasts and chipmunks. They bit me. I have scars all over inside my hand.
So now we know natural progressive because you are a naturalist and you care about the environment where you live in the state of Utah, and you came to the epiphany of, wow, they're really like messing up my state. And we were, the same time you were doing that, we were doing it here about a pipeline. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what we wake up to
Yeah,
when
the
we do.
DAPL pipeline was a big part that also sucked
Yeah.
me in. No DAPL. I was big in trying to create awareness about that, water is life kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started in the politics side, and then I just evolved into more just I really need to stand up for nature, but I also want other people to bring their voice in. And I
That's
know that I am not all knowing, period. So I try to bring in different voices, and sometimes that pisses people off because sometimes people want you to just preach to the choir, and I'm not willing to do that. I want to hear other voices. I want to hear what other people have to say. So
I think that's great. I think that is fabulous. So, and
thank
that's what makes the show unique. And the people you bring on, you have well, tell us about some of those. But before you go on to the show, I just wanted to tell a bit your horses. I find that's amazing for me, to hear about that.
What do you want to know about my horse? I love my horses. Most of them are
Mm.
rescues. I almost lost one on New Year's Eve, or not you, Christmas Eve, sorry. Um, how I spent my Christmas Eve was um, on vigil with this old horse. She's the oldest one we own. She's gonna be 35 this year, and she laid down and couldn't get back up. And I was sitting there trying to make a decision whether to call a vet out to put her down or not. And those kind of things are really tough for me. When you have to make that kind of decision to put an animal down, there's nothing that makes you question everything about life than that situation, right? And it was Christmas Eve, so it was unlikely I'd be able to get a vet there anyway. So all I could do was give her some pain medicine um and hope for the best and just stand vigil and be there with her. And every time it's like, it's okay. She wasn't colicking. Near as I could tell, you can't ever tell if an animal's really, really in pain. I mean, sometimes you can, sometimes it's super obvious, but she was not obviously in pain. So I was just there petting her and talking to her. And um, she just didn't seem like she was ready to go. She wanted to live. She wanted to get up. And every time I talked about, yeah, well, maybe you're too tired, maybe you just need, maybe you're done, and that's fine. And she would just start struggling to get up. And so I gave her one more dose of pain reliever and gave her a few. And then me and my husband were able to get her up. And the minute we got her up, she's like, okay, I just got to pee like a racehorse. She had to pee, and then she pooped, and then everything was great again. She was fine and no problem since then.
When you
Um,
told me she was 35, I was amazed. I was amazed,
yeah.
really. But
Oh,
those are really nice qualities, and it's
but can I tell the
good.
rest of the story about this horse?
Absolutely.
The earlier, I've already told you. You already know. But this horse was a rescue. I got her like I don't know. It was like in 2002. I got her from this place in I was about I don't know 45 50 minutes away from here, and we went to look at her for my brother. My brother was looking for a horse, and she's nothing like he was looking for, but I felt so bad for her. I bought her for $300 and took her home. She was knee deep in mud in a pasture with like seven other horses that beat the crap out of
Wow.
her, and she had fungus. Like she lost all of her hair from her hoof to her knee on all four
Really?
legs. Her butt was completely bare of hair because of the fungus, just ate away all of her hair. So I had to bring her home, and then I had to wash her every day with betadine to get rid of this fungus. And so we became quite close, and she was still losing weight. I was feeding her like three times the normal amount a horse her size should eat, and she was still really not gaining weight. So I took her to the vet, and the vet found out she was pregnant, but he didn't know whether she was 2 weeks pregnant, or 3 weeks pregnant, or 5 weeks, I don't know, 2 weeks away from giving birth, or 5 months away from giving birth. He couldn't tell at that point. It was too late to tell. So we didn't know. We knew she was pregnant, but we didn't know when. So a couple months later, when it started getting cold, it was like, starting to go into fall. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put her in a stall just in case, because it could get cold and whatever. So I put her in a stall. We fixed up the stall, and then I went to visit a friend that was 45 minutes away. And
Yeah.
while I was there, I I had this message in my head, like I just kept picturing her eye and with a little wrinkle on top of it, just really worried, like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then I felt pains in my stomach, like cramping, like when I was giving birth, like that kind of cramping. And I'm, oh my God, lightning's in labor. I have to go. And
Have it.
I ran to my car, raced home as fast as I could, got out iodine and towels, and went into the stall, shined a flashlight into the stall, and just as I did, she was actually giving birth right then. So
Wow.
she actually told me she was giving birth, like from a long distance away. And that's my strong connection with animals. It's like I think they communicate to me. I mean, when not all of them all the time or anything, but sometimes I think they do. And there's other instances, but that's the strongest one that I can explain, and I had actual witnesses to. So there was people that
That's
I told. It was like, I
really
gotta go. She's giving birth. I had people meet me there. People met me there and saw it happen. It wasn't like I was crazy. It happened. It actually
yeah.
happened. So yeah, there's that. You know,
There's that. These
that's
are really things that are amazing that build up who is Chris. You know,
yes.
you're like almost like a horse midwife.
Well, I've definitely helped a lot of horses give birth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't believe in breeding animals anymore, domesticated animals anymore. I just think it's cruel right now. Um, Same
Yeah.
with human
Make,
babies. I don't want to have human babies deal with the future that we've set up for them. I don't think that's right. So
that's a I agree with you that it is just a myriad of issues.
yeah, look
What
at
are your most,
Australia. You can go ahead and talk about Australia. Did you see Black Bear News today? Like, oh, last night he did a thing. I watched it
yeah,
today, but oh my God! And even the monetary system is messed up. Everything. It's just
they're collapsing. And we're
it's
just sitting here. It's like
scary.
it's the real world because, we're surreal. But what I want to ask you is on your channel, what are the most important issues that you like to talk about? Or
Um,
what you like to tell them?
I'm just environmental issues. So, I mean, I think I totally believe that the more we try to protect the environment, the more we're protecting everybody else. It's like we are really dependent on the natural world, and at this point, I don't think we can save it. But I don't think that's a reason not to try to save it.
Right.
I think we should still try, but I don't have much hope. But I still will fight like hell. I have kids, I'm gonna fight like hell for those kids, and who knows what's gonna happen. We don't know what the future holds, or what crazy things nature can do or won't do. Still want to fight for that. So that's a big part of it. I definitely I don't hold out hope, but I do want to still fight. So there's that.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of us are in that situation, and I hear your dog in the background, and it's making me want to crack up laughing.
I know earlier, yeah, they're all sleeping now.
Puppy. I know. I love seeing them.
Okay,
I do, but
okay,
I
hold on.
don't have
All
any
right,
dogs now.
there's
Can you see?
they're just shedding like crazy, so you'll see black spots all over the floor. But okay, okay, there's the new dog passed out. There's
There we
Bear,
go.
and then over there's Tough. There's my
Cool.
puppies all laying. But yeah, the floor's a mess because dogs are shedding. They're shedding their spring coat, getting their
You
winter
have
coats.
animals.
And
And Jim says exactly do the right thing regardless of the outcome. Yep.
yes,
Yep.
exactly. Yes. That's one thing that I think Guy McPherson has right, is you can't depend on the outcome. Let's see what people are saying on YouTube, if I can. Could I?
Sure. She's got the simulcasting on her channel, which I didn't even have the ability to do. I don't know how to do it.
Bluebell's here. Yay.
To,
Yeah,
we would
well,
have been on
it's super easy with,
YouTube.
well, thank God for my daughter came and made it work because the camera wouldn't work on this. And
Right, right.
so, yeah,
Well, that's pretty cool. I think it's always an accomplishment when you learn how to do something. Oh, I see it. Oh, look at that. It's really cool. Kim says it cannot hear you without an echo, Sandy. Well, there's
Bluebell's
nothing
dogs is
I can
barking at my
do
dogs.
without an echo because we're on, I can't do anything. I'm not in charge of it, but okay, cool. That's cool. So,
Zox is
Chris,
here.
let's get back to, I want to
Okay,
get back
Anthony,
to,
Anita, poetry, yoga, radical, eco-feminist, Kim Centro, Jeffrey Peterson. Oh my gosh, sorry, I gotta throw out some
I'm glad
names
I'm
here because
here.
they're all awesome. Val is here, of course, Anthony Davis.
And now you have new friends
Maya,
and new
yeah,
people and
Human.
listen, guys,
Okay, sorry.
we need
All right,
subs
we
for
can
Chris.
continue. I just wanted to, there's comments there, but hopefully we get to some of their comments later.
Well, that's what your channel is all about all the time, and that's cool as heck because they're all with us. I mean, it's like, a Sunday night. So I don't know. Mark says good show on us. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait, sure, Hana, Yumi, Empath Warriors are now forming tribes. Hit me up if you want in one. In Birth Strike. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Bird Strike. I remember when that came out. That was last year. God,
Hit
last year.
me up,
Time's so
woman
fast.
or woman guy. I hope you're.
So Chris, um,
Yes.
can you I wanted to ask you about some of the people you've interviewed
Yeah.
besides the guy, like Derek.
Derek
Those were good.
Jensen.
And yeah,
I
and he
really
had
resonate with Derek Jensen. I just do. And I've interviewed him like 4 times, maybe 5. I don't know. I've interviewed him quite a few times. And I don't know. I just resonate with his message. Um, he is all about nature. He's all about the natural process. And um, I know the athleists don't agree with that whole thing because they think it's all suffering too. But
explained what you were talking about.
oh, I don't really want to get into atheists. You're gonna have to
No, we
look at.
won't. If you want to know all these things, then that's
Okay,
when you have to go over to
yes,
the natural
Hierophant
progressive.
explains it very well, right? Hierophant, go to his channel if you want to know more about the atheism. Head in the Box has a couple shows on that. Who else am I missing? I think Val probably. I'm more anti-natalist. I don't believe in bringing in new life with the problems we have right now. So,
Mhm.
oh, Indy's here. Dave called me early to wish me a happy birthday. I love Dave in The Outsider. Um,
So,
oh,
so you
oh, Dave says I interviewed Deb Della Piana. Deb Della Piana does Ungovernables. Her channel's Deb Della Piana, and she does the Ungovernables movement. Probably like not everyone's cup of tea, but I love Deb and I love Dave in The Outsider. Forest precede us and deserts dog our heels. Yeah, anyway, check out Hierophant if you really want to know more about the antinatalist and ethalism. He's got good videos on it. Um,
and a lot of these people probably don't know. That's why I was introducing them to go over to your channel. You need subs to get to. Remember, you wanted to get a certain thing. That's why. So she
yes,
does need. So the natural progressive, and she's on Mondays and
yes, Bluebell,
Wednesdays.
it's my birthday today. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it's
yeah, I have to go out of town. I have a lot of things I gotta do, and I can't live stream from my phone, and yet I can't take my computer until I have 1,000 subs. I can't live stream when I'm out of town or whenever I want to. So I need like under 40 subs to do it. So please help me out, guys. Like really.
like we were, and I mean, guess we're just as grown as we're probably ever gonna be. My hobby. But remember what you told me. You want to be an interviewer. Like,
Yes,
I think it's awesome.
I
I
love
think you should.
interviewing people. That's my favorite thing to do. Hit one
It is. It
sub
is.
soon, Chris. I'm trying, Dave. I'm trying.
What? Trying
Oh,
what?
it's your husband's birthday too, Bluebell. That's crazy.
But my people
Go
can't see the chat
Capricorn.
unless I put it up. I wonder if I could screen share it, but then we're going into territory of we're about a half an hour, and I think that's good for Sunday. It's your birthday. I think
Yes.
what guys
I've got to go
that
eat.
are with
Yeah.
us, everybody that's with us, got an understanding of who Chris is and her channel, The Natural
Was there any
Progressive.
questions for me before we go? Anybody?
Well, yeah. Who's out there? Mark and Jim and Marcia. Marcia said, thank you for not only caring about our environment, but humans and animals too. Yeah. And now there's a really long one. You don't know Heidi, but Heidi's an amazing activist, Heidi Verthaler, and she's in Maine. But I'm not gonna. It's a very long one. It's on there, and she's got links in it and all. So you might really be interested in it because she's totally an activist out there, out on the front lines. You know, she really is. And there's a lot of people like that on Facebook. So
Hierophant, I'm not going to pay for fake subs.
a lot of
I want real
favorite.
people. I want real people.
She's getting real people. All right, guys. Chris, you I want to, I can't see, or well, I can go on to your channel, but I can't okay, it's kind of wild. So I see. Thanks, Chris, for being
Thank you. You're so sweet.
so, guys, I'm gonna end for tonight. It's Sunday, and I'm gonna cut you guys loose.
Okay,
She's
I love you guys. Love the horse and see the Misfits with Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I did. That was good. You guys are so awesome. Aren't they awesome?
Yes.
I
But
love our
we have
people.
people here on Facebook.
Okay, I could go on. You know, that's why my show goes on forever, because I want to read everyone's comments.
Yeah, it's just the comment show. So, guys, thank you for coming and learning about the comment show. Who needs sub? Who is a person with a heart and soul and loves animals? And I want to go visit. And who knows? Maybe I would love to if I ever felt good enough. You know, so we'll see. You never know. If I don't know.
Thank you,
Karen, I don't know if I'll ever leave my living room. I don't know if I'll ever leave my living room.
Me
yes.
either. I hate leaving my living room too. Or
here's a question for you. Okay. What do you think about mega dams?
I don't like mega dams. Am I supposed to like mega dams? I mean, there's nothing good about mega dams. The only dams that are good are the ones built by beavers that were meant to happen.
Does Utah have a system of dams that come from through a lake system, or?
There's lots of dams in Utah with reservoirs, but they're using all the water in those dams and reservoirs for mining, and either that or agriculture. So, like for mostly here, it's alfalfa. So that's not really good. That just feeds the beef industry, and you know how that goes. It's like, you know how I feel about that. It's like I would rather see people hunt than monoculture or factory farming. So
absolutely,
you know how I feel about that. I mean, but at the same time, I depend on alfalfa to feed my horses. So I don't know if that's hypocrisy. I don't know. I have no idea.
You grow any alfalfa on anywhere, like locally? Is it grown?
It is grown locally here on small farms, small family farms. Is not the huge mega farms.
Economy buy your alfalfa and not feel bad about it. So we can't feel bad about what our participation in something we have no choice. The only opt out is to die. Okay, so basically we are living a life. No apologies needed. And on that note, it is 33 minutes and my back hurts. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye,
please.
Zox, Kim.
Saying goodbye to her crowd, which is my YouTube crowd. And we're all interspersed because, guys, there's a lot of channels on YouTube that are in this umbrella. And it's pretty cool because we form a bond and it's very close. And the Facebook, it's the same thing. It's like, we say it's like a family. So I will close with the family.
And YouTube
Good night,
is a family.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. All right, guys. I'm going to log off. Chris, stay for a sec. And then I'm trying to figure out how to get off this thing. Bye. Peace. All right. All right. I think that was beautiful and
Okay,
not too
we're still
long.
showing mine. Hold on. Night, guys. Love y'all.